Today we're drinking Coca-Cola. I think this is the second time I've drank Coke on my channel, but I like Coke, so it's pretty good. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Customer Commentary, I have my stepbrother with me. My stepbrother, Sam. I haven't really talked to him too much, so I don't really know him all that well. I mean, we've only lived together for, what, almost 10 years?
10? Has it been that long?
I think so. What is the job that you do?
I'm a service clerk.
So you have some horrible customer stories to tell.
I don't really have like a gigantic wow, this person's horrible thing.
Yeah.
But I have a couple
Yeah. Just annoyances.
Yeah. So one time when I first started working there was this one guy who wanted 3 big bags of chips in one plastic bag, and the plastic bag isn't big enough to hold those 3 bags of chips. So I went to go give him a second one, and he yelled at me. He was he looked me in the eyes and pointed at me, and he was like, "No, I want it all in one bag." And I was just like, "It's not gonna fit in one bag. I'm gonna crush the chips if it goes in one bag." He's like, "No, I want it all in one bag." And I just repeated myself. I was like, "You're gonna crush all the chips
Gonna crush them
if you put them all in that one bag." And then he just rips the bag out of my hands with all his chips, and he stuffs them all in there. And then he walks away after he pays. He walks back into the store. And then 10 minutes later, when I had already completely forgot about the conversation, he walks behind me. He's muttering under his breath yeah. So I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I was just me and the cashier just both looked at him and we were like, "What's this guy doing?"
What I was thinking was, I thought you were gonna say, because I've seen this happen before, where with bread, they're put bread on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to do that, but the customers are sometimes idiots.
Yeah.
So I've heard where they're like, "Oh, just put it all in one bag," and it's like, "Okay, but you're gonna crush your bread," and then they're like, "It's whatever." Then they go out, and then they come back into the service desk, and they start complaining about it. It's like, you just fucking said to do it this way. We're trying to accommodate you here.
Or if they have a bag of if they have eggs and chips and you want to put it in one bag because that's all they have left, so you put the eggs on the bottom and then you put chips on top, and they're yelling at you you put the eggs on the bottom, and it was I put chips on top. Chips aren't gonna crush the eggs.
Yeah.
As long as you're careful with it. And I tell them "Hey, this bag has eggs in it," and they're like, "Why'd you put the eggs on the bottom still?"
It's they're chips. They're not.
It just doesn't make any sense.
So I'm assuming this bag thing was before the bag ban or whatever.
Yeah, it was still 2018, I'm pretty sure.
Have any other stories?
This one time, this lady had $300 worth of groceries, and I had to bag $300 worth of groceries. And she didn't really care that much. She wasn't being annoying, but I had just bagged $300 worth of groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to pay with a company card or something. It wasn't her. She wasn't paying for them for herself. She was paying for someone else.
Yeah.
Buying them for someone else with someone else's money. And the card kept getting declined. It's not working. So she's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but I'm not gonna be able to pay for these because I'm not paying for them because they're not mine." And
yeah.
So then I had to take those $300 worth of groceries, and it had milk and eggs and cheese and stuff like that.
And you back shop?
And I had to back shop the entire $300 worth of groceries.
That's
and it was
horrible.
I had 20 minutes left of my shift too.
So did you get it all done?
No, I got.
I didn't think so.
I got I put the important stuff back, and then
the cold stuff.
Yeah, and then I had to leave it for someone else.
What I thought you were gonna say was this, because this is also very common, is people start "Oh, it's not accepting my card, not accepting my card," and then they start getting angry about it. But it's it's not our fault you don't have money to pay for your shit. It's not our machine that's busted.
Or when, because if you take too many things off, they have to call the person over.
Yep.
So they get mad that it's taking so long to call the person over when they're the reason that they had to do that.
I've had very similar, not the exact same, but similar when I was a cashier working at Kohl's. People would get way too much stuff and then be like, "Oh, I can't afford this." And then they get mad at because it's "Oh, it's not accepting my card."
They didn't look at the price tag enough, and they didn't pay attention to how much money they have.
Yeah, just
it's your fault.
It's do not get angry at me because you don't have the funds to pay for the items you wanted.
Yeah.
Don't get upset with me because of that. That's just nonsense.
Or when they say, No, this was $5, not $7 or whatever. Can you go
Oh
check
my
for
God.
me? And then I have to go, and then I have to sprint to where the item is, check the tag, and then come back. And then half the time, I'm right, and,
Yep.
or like they were wrong, and they were, I have to tell them no, it's actually this price, and like no, I don't think so. And then they walk over there, and I like can't just walk over there with them. I have
Yep.
to show them what I saw. And so I walk over there with them, and they point out, and they're like, "See, it says this," and I was like, "No, that's for the one that was next to it."
Yep,
Or like
yep.
they were looking at the
Countless
wrong
amount
shelf.
of times. Yep. But at Kohl's, they had printed out tags for when items go on clearance.
Yeah.
And so people used to peel the stickers off of clearance items and put them on new items, like brand new items, and try to go through. And I'd scan it, and it'd come up, obviously, the
Full
price
price.
that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, see the sticker? It's supposed to be that." And it's like, well, it's if that was true, it would scan up as that as well. It's not like it's not like we enter it manually to change the prices.
My friend did that at American Eagle once, and that worked.
Did it?
Yeah, he like grabbed a shirt that was full price, and he threw it in the clearance thing, and he was like, and he went over to the lady, and he was like, "Hey, this is on clearance, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, it is." So then he took it to the register, and he was like, "I got this in the clearance aisle. It was supposed to be this much money," and then they like brought it down for him.
I guess sometimes it works out.
It did work for him.
But I just know when I was working at Kohl's, it was something common, very, very common that would happen, and I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta call the manager," and you know how much of a pain in the ass that is. So we just sitting there waiting.
And everyone in line's getting mad.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them because like they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, it's just like
Especially the very next person in line, because if they're like they're the very next person in line, and I already have all their stuff on the belt, so it's not like they can leave and go to a different line.
Or like if it's the next person and it's like they literally only have like 2 items.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you're gonna be wasting a lot of time standing in this line. You should move somewhere else.
Because someone came through the express line with like a full cart.
Yeah, I don't understand that logic at all.
Those people.
That's so.
I so badly every time I just want to be like, hey, you can't go through that line.
But you can't say anything to them.
Yeah, I know.
It's so stupid.
I want to so bad. I've said it sometimes, like if they're on the short one where there's no room to bag anything,
Mhm.
like 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't know that, but there's this one register where it's shorter, the belt, so you can't put as many groceries there. And people will come in with like a cart and a half full of things, and I'm just want to be like, hey, there's no room for your stuff.
So if you have any, so recently the store changed so there's no plastic bags. So if you have anything like related to that, like people getting angry because you don't have the kind of bags for them.
I haven't had anyone like mad at me like this is a stupid thing to do. Why did you do that? I haven't had anyone do that to me. But people are like, hey, how do you feel about this? And I'm just like, I don't really care.
I don't either, personally, but
like it's just like it's quicker to bag if you have a plastic bag.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you have the other bags, it's like you can fit a lot more stuff in those bags, and like
yeah,
you don't have to worry about it ripping.
that's true. That's true.
Because those will, but if it's the stupid paper ones, then you do have to worry about it. Because the paper ones are just so bad.
Yeah.
Because the handles break off so easily.
Any interesting stories of doing carts, or is it just?
One time, I like accidentally clipped this guy. Like I was doing and I accidentally hit him. I like grazed it. There was nothing wrong with the car. Like I didn't break the car.
There was
I didn't
no
like
dent.
scratch it or dent it or anything like that. But I did like hit it, and he was sitting in his car. So
Oh
he
my
like
God.
looked. So he like looked back at me, and we like made eye contact, and then I just like turned around quickly, and then he got out of his car, and he was like, "Hey," in like a really deep voice, and I was just like, and I like panicked a little bit, and then he stood up, and he was like six something. He was really tall, and he was like, "Did you just hit my car?" And like instinctively, I was just like, "No." Like I just panicked. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even mean to lie.
No.
And he was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Well, if I did hit it, it's right. It would have been right here." So I was like, "Well, where do you know where it hit?" And then I was just like, "I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to hit it. There's nothing wrong with the car." And he was like, "Well, you shouldn't be lying like that." And then he got back in his car, and then I was just terrified for the rest of the.
I don't blame you. That sounds frightening. There was a time when I was working days still, and I was taking my lunch because you're required to.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Have you ever had to take a lunch yet?
Yeah, I did it once. I worked like an 8.5 hour.
It's so dumb. I hated it. I always hated taking lunches because it's like once I sit down and stop working, I don't want to go back working. But I was going out to take just to sit in my car. I was gonna go drive over to McDonald's or whatever, and there was a cart right in front of my car, like touching my car.
Yeah.
And I was angry about it. So I literally just shoved it. I was in my uniform still. That was probably a mistake. I just shoved it and it rolled right into someone else's car. And they're like, hey, why didn't you put that back? What's your name? I'm going to go tell your boss. And I was just like, see ya. I just said, see ya. I got in my car and left. So, because what were they going to do?
You just covered your name badge and got in your car.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were all the way at their car. So I wasn't really worried about them seeing it because it was because at this time the name badges weren't fucking ginormous like they are now. They were tiny. Yeah. So, at my store, somebody recently got hit by a car doing the carts.
I've never gotten hit by
Good.
I've never even come close.
That sounds fucking horrible. I don't know how, because, yeah, you wear those bright vests, so it's like, I don't even know how this guy got hit.
It's just people don't pay attention.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm in a parking lot. I don't need to know what I'm doing.
It's a parking lot. Remember to like the video, comment the video, subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. This is my stepbrother Sam. Do you have anywhere that you want people to follow you or anything?
Instagram, Sam_4 NIER.
Follow him there. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out. See you guys.
Counting sheep once again, hiding from the wolf under my bed. The mice is in my